With Season of the Lost, all of our dreams have finally come true. The Prophecy Dungeon has now had its world loot pool completely reworked and is now dropping Trials of the Nine weapons inside of it. I mean, honestly, who would have thought, right, that a dungeon themed around the Nine would ever drop weapons that are also themed around the Nine? I mean, it's literally an absurd concept. Anyways, yeah, Prophecy's previous weapon loot has now been stripped away and replaced with 6 weapons from Trials of the Nine, while its old loot now resides in the world loot pool. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at all 6 of these new Prophecy weapons, ranking them from best to worst, going over how to farm them, and talking about all their perk rolls so you know what to look out for. Before we jump into it though, like and subscribe so I can continue to feed my 2 cats. And without further ado, let's jump into it. First things first, let's talk about how you farm these weapons, because believe it or not, there's actually some info in here that you might need to know before committing to the grind. The weapon drops in this dungeon are divided into 3 encounters: the Phalanx encounter, Hexahedron, and the Caleco encounter. The Phalanx drops the sniper and hand cannon, Hexahedron drops the sidearm and auto rifle, and Caleco drops the pulse rifle and shotgun. When it comes to farming these encounters, it's pretty simple. Just get a checkpoint on whatever character you don't want to farm on. For example, I did my hunter for Caleco, load into the checkpoint with your fire team, then swap characters to the class you actually want to farm the encounter on, then rinse and repeat from here. This way you never lose your checkpoint and can continue farming until the weekly reset takes away said checkpoint. Keep in mind that you must have gotten the weapons that you're trying to get at least once before wanting to farm any of these encounters. For example, if you're trying to farm Phalanx for the sniper rifle, but you've never gotten it to drop previously on any of your characters, that means it's not in your loot pool, and it's impossible to get into the next weekly reset, as you'll need to try again and get it to drop for the first time. Now, we farmed the hell out of this dungeon on twitch.tv/demonjoefrance, so you should totally follow me there, link in the description. Let's go. The auto does have some really cool stuff going on with... And throughout all this farming, I have a pretty good idea on some optimal loadouts to use for each encounter. For Phalanx, all we used was Witherhoard and Guillotine alongside a Tether or Well of Radiance, although neither of those are actually needed. For Hexahedron, just make sure you're using something to easily clear enemies on the ground floor, which for me was Stochastic Variable, and also run something with a bit of long range for the snipers up top. I personally chose the Seraph Saw, but another popular choice is Xenophage. And lastly, for Caleco, a lot of people have been running the new Artifact mod alongside 1K voices or other fusion rifle setups, but since I and many others still don't have that mod, I just used Thunder Crash Titan with Witherhoard and a lasting impression rocket, and we one-phased every single time with ease. With all that being said, those are the specific encounters the weapons drop at, and also how to checkpoint farm each encounter, so now let's talk about the weapons themselves and go over the god rolls. Now, normally, to not waste your guys' time, I like to go over the best weapons first, so this weapon right here is an absolute beauty and is the sole reason I've been farming Prophecy. Let me introduce you to the Darkest Before. This pulse comes from the Caleco and is an arc rapid fire frame with some godlike perks alongside it. Taking a look at the perks, we got plenty to choose from in the first column. For PvE, we got great options like Overflow and Subsistence, followed by either One for All or Rampage in the second column. As far as a casual role is concerned for PvE, Subsistence Rampage is a role that will absolutely not disappoint. And if you're planning on using this for GM Nightfalls like myself, especially considering we have Unstopped Pulse this season, Overflow One for All is the role you want. You can get upwards of around 90 in the mag using Overflow, and combining that with a 35% damage bonus like One for All, you're looking to slay out in Nightfalls. And for PvP, you don't have bad options either. You could go with perks like Tunnel Vision or Surplus in the first column, and Elemental Capacitor or Rampage in the second. With rapid fire frames being disgusting in PvP, this might be one you want to have on your radar moving forward to pair with something like Reese Walker in the kinetic slot. Now, moving on over from the Darkest Before, let's talk about the next weapon of the video, the Last Breath, a kinetic 600 RPM auto rifle that drops from Hexahedron. Now, we have plenty of good auto rifles in the game right now, but this one definitely separates itself from the pack by allowing for really fun ability builds inside of PvE. For my grenade freaks out there, this auto rolls with both Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie at the same time, and this god roll can make a perfect fit alongside the same roll for Corrective Measure if you're trying to go all out ability spam. Combining that with Elemental Wells would make things even crazier, but I'll leave y'all up to the theory crafting. Of course, if you're looking for a more grounded perk combination, we have Subsistence Frenzy for casual content, or Ensemble One for All / Ensemble Frenzy if you're planning on rocking this thing for anti-barrier auto rifle this season inside Nightfalls. In PvP, Killing Wind or Dynamic Sway wouldn't be bad in first column, and Adagio looks to be the only real worthwhile perk in the second, although this weapon as a whole wouldn't be my first choice for PvP, especially considering Chroma Rush is a thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if many skipped on it when it comes to a PvP role. Now moving on from the auto rifle, let's talk about this new sniper rifle because boy oh boy, does it got some spicy perks on it. Taking a look at the rolls, we have a slew of great options in the first column. Perks like Clown Cartridge, Overflow, and Ensemble are all fantastic picks. And at the second column, we have Firing Line for the first time in a sniper rifle in literal ages. Firing Line is going to provide a 20% increase to damage when near teammates, and this will synergize insanely well with Ensemble as that perk increases reload speed when next to teammates as well. You could also go with Clown for more ammo after a reload, or Overflow to double your mag when grabbing ammo. Either way, all of these perks make great combinations with Firing Line for PvE, and will be great for sustained boss damage. For PvP, the first column's pretty lackluster on having an actual good perk present, so go with whatever you feel is best, and of course the second column has Quick Draw, Snapshot, and Moving Target, so pick your poison. Overall, I'm not really a big fan of the scope on the sniper, so I don't really see it being used all that much in PvP, but then again, I'm not really a PvP guy, and I'm just waiting on Halo Infinite. Next up for the video, we have ourselves the Kinetic 140 hand cannon, Judgment. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this weapon so late into the video is mainly because Fatebringer exists, and it kinda sorta outclasses all Kinetic 140s in the game for PvE. However, this weapon looks freaking beautiful, and I'm absolutely gonna farm a god roll just for that fact alone. I mean, look at it. Just, don't you want to spank the butt of the gun and call it dirty things? Taking a look at the perks, we actually have excellent options. First, for casual content, Ensemble or Demo in the first slot are great picks, and Multi-Kill Clip or Adrenaline Junkie in the second column are also great picks. Again, just like the last breath, you can use the Judgment in your grenade ability builds, so that may be something to consider if you like a hand cannon instead of an auto. For master content, we have ourselves the role of Ensemble for reload when playing with a team, and Time Payload for the permanent 11% damage buff to all shots when firing at the head. Overall, I'm still going to be rocking Fatebringer, but my ability homies may find use out of this thing. It's just not my personal playstyle though. And of course, for PvP, we have ourselves Tunnel Vision, Moving Target, and Slide Shot in the first column, as well as Time Payload, Multi-Kill Clip, or Opening Shot. I don't think we'll see many people using this thing in PvP, but it might be something you want to use to just shake things up. Speaking of PvP, this next weapon is pretty much only good for it, and that's the Sudden Death Arc Aggressive Shotgun. Of course, as always, no slug equals no good in regards to general PvE. You can use this weapon with a role like Grave Robber 1-2 Punch if you'd like, more power to you, but it's just not a playstyle that I personally partake in, as there's many other things that are miles above in terms of effectiveness, but for those of you guys that think it's fun, it definitely does have that playstyle to it. Unfortunately though, when looking at the PvP side of things, although this weapon is more suited for that style of play, it's still outclassed heavily by other weapons, but its main standout trait is its handling potential. A role like Full Choke, Accurize, Slide Shot, and Snapshot is great on this weapon for a general role that you would normally have on a shotgun, but you can always swap out Snap for Elemental Capacitor, and when running an Arc subclass, you pretty much get Quick Draw on this weapon 24/7. Pretty insane for those that run Arc subclasses and want some massive handling, so it might be something to think about. Lastly, for today's video, we have ourselves the Void Precision Frame Sidearm, a swift verdict. I don't care what anybody says, call it bias, I don't care what you say, I have never and will never liked sidearms in this game. At least like the legendary sidearms that aren't burst sidearms. That being said, let's look at the perks anyways. For PvE, you can run something like Threat Detector Kill Clip, or maybe even Full Auto Kill Clip like my personal role for casual content, and of course there is no master content viability for this weapon, so let's move to PvP. For PvP, we have Surplus, Killing Wind, and Tunnel Vision in the first slot, with Rangefinder and Kill Clip in the second. Those are pretty great perk combos, and I know there are some absolute sidearm fiends in the Crucible, especially on console, so this sidearm looks pretty decent, and you might want to pick it up. But guys, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. That has been all of the trials of the 9 weapons inside of Prophecy. We went over how to farm these weapons, what loadouts to use, what perks to look for while you're getting these weapons, and everything in between. I feel as though I kind of went over these weapons in a timely fashion, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of proud of myself for that. Honestly, this weapon set is a lot better in my opinion than the Awoken weapon set that you can find in Astral Alignment. Obviously, the first 4 weapons that we went over, Darkest Before, Last Breath, Long Walk, and Judgment, are all pretty good options inside of PvE, especially Darkest Before being a really good standout pick, and Long Walk being a very unique sniper rifle, so both of those weapons already off the get-go, I'm very excited to farm for. Of course, I'm mainly a PvE guy, so we also had a Sudden Death and Swift Verdict at the end that I wasn't too crazy about, but for my PvP homies, you guys might like that a lot. But yeah, this weapon set overall is pretty great, and I'm very excited to just hop into Prophecy, you know, week after week and try to get myself some god rolls. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below of these weapons. I'm very excited to actually see that they have really good perks on them, and I want to know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Now, for those of you guys that did watch into this point of the video, we're going to keep the tradition going. Watch time is one of the biggest things that the YouTube algorithm likes to nibble on, so I definitely appreciate you guys for watching up into this point. And if you did watch up into this point, comment the German word for no, 9, down in the comments down below to commemorate today's video being about the 9. And honestly, I kind of want to start incorporating comments of the day on top of this whole word of the day thing that we've been doing here on the channel, just for the gang that watches to the end of the video, and to kind of show my appreciation for those of you guys that watch my videos all the way through and just like to listen to me ramble at the end. So make sure your comment has the word 9 in it whenever you post it, if you do plan on posting one, and put whatever else you want in your comment, as I might feature it in my next video. It could be a question, general statement, or anything else that you want. And for today's comment of the day, I actually want to read a comment from B Hill. He said, "Bruh, great video. Informative, no bias, straight info. Love the fact that just because cells have changed doesn't mean that they are bad. I've loved cells and haven't touched them since the new season. Also, Schmeat." This was a comment left on my Warmind Cell video that I recently posted, and I 100% agree. You know, just because cells have changed, that doesn't mean they're bad, and overall we went over cells in that video and figured out that even with the nerfs, they kind of absolutely slap. But B Hill, thank you so much for the comment, I really appreciate it. And guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys did have a good day, and I hope that this video made your day even better, possibly worse, but hopefully better. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.